Your race high lap leader. Yes, I think that's right.
All right, I don't know where they get these rookies from.
Hello and welcome into this week's edition of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rewind Show, right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, welcome. This is a channel where we discuss lots of motorsports, namely NASCAR, ARCA, IndyCar, and Formula One. That is what we cover at the moment. Eventually, we do plan to broaden that scope, though. So on today's edition of the Trucks Rewind Show, we're looking back at last night's 22nd annual PPG 400 from the Texas Motor Speedway, 167 laps. And at this point, it is not a surprise to say Johnny Sauter wins. Fourth win of the season for Johnny Sauter, his 21st career Truck Series victory. Led 51 laps total in this race. That is not a race high, though. Race high went to Todd Gilliland with 62 laps led on the night. Some other big lap leaders in this one. It wasn't just Todd Gilliland and Johnny Sauter. Noah Gragson led 19 laps. Stewart Friesen also led 13 laps. We see Stewart Friesen here in second position on the night. Stewart Friesen came so close to his first victory last night. I was so heartbroken for Stewart Friesen. That first win has got to be around the corner for him because he has just done so amazing this season. If he had had another lap, he would have won this race. He was there off of turn 4 with Johnny Sauter. I think what got him, though, to close as close as he did with Johnny Sauter, Sauter admitted in victory lane that he ran out of gas into turn 3. The truck sputtered, and then the engine fired back up in the middle of 3 and 4. That, I think, is what got Stewart Friesen up to his bumper. And you just got to wonder what would have happened if Sauter's truck hadn't refired. Well, I think we know what would have happened. Stewart Friesen would have won the race, because if he hadn't refired, there's no way he was beating Friesen to the line. So there's a lot of what-ifs here, but I really do believe Stewart Friesen's first win is just around the corner. It has got to be. He has done so well this season. Justin Haley comes home in the third position. Rest of your top 5 were ThorSport teammates Grant Enfinger and Matt Crafton. Your race high lap leader for the night was Todd Gilliland. They're in 6th position. A great run for Tyler Young in 7th. Kudos to Tyler Young. Best finish of the season there in that 20 truck after missing the last couple of races. Cody Coughlin in 8th. Spencer Davis and Noah Gragson, Kyle Busch Motorsports teammates, round out the top 10. Now, as we look down here, 11th through 20th, Dalton Sargent only able to muster an 11th place finish. Not the greatest of nights out of that GMS truck. Not really sure what the deal was. It just seemed to be off all night. Wendell Chavis, kudos to Wendell Chavis there in 12th, last truck on the lead lap. I'd have to look. I haven't looked, but I believe that might be his best finish of the season. So kudos to Wendell Chavis. Chris Eggleston in that 54 truck for DGR Crosley in 14th. Ben Rhodes, a disappointing night, comes home 16th, 3 laps off the pace. Brett Moffitt had all kinds of problems throughout the night. Finally comes home in the 18th position, 9 laps down. Now, 21st through 30th, some interesting names down through here. Myatt Snyder, 23rd after an accident on lap 105. Bo Lamastus in that second DGR Crosley truck this week, the 17 truck. He had an accident late as well, lap 73. Comes home in the 26th position. And that would be your results for the night. Now, for whatever reason, we don't have media center video from Texas. I'm not sure why, but it's not, the video for whatever reason is not available to us, but we do have audio for some reason. So we're going to give you the audio from the media center for Justin Haley, Stewart Friesen, and Johnny Sauter and see what they thought after last night's race in Texas.
Yeah, we really lacked raw speed, which is not where we've been. We've been in the top 3 the past 5-6 races on speed-wise. So qualifying 10th was a little bit of a struggle, trying to play track position and get up there. So we just managed our tires right, managed the fuel right, and it came down to those last restarts there. And I did everything I could to try to push them up out of the way, but a really, really good performance out of the Fraternal Order of Eagle Chevrolet.
Yeah, we had a great race car. Being lined up with the GMS Fab Shop has been awesome for our HFR team. I got to thank Halmar, Chris Larson for allowing me to compete at this level. To race for wins like we are is a dream come true. It's pretty damn awesome. But to win, we can win a race. We just gotta execute a full night and not make mistakes and get ourselves back in the pack. So proud of my guys. I love racing with these guys. It's a great race team. We have a lot of fun, good camaraderie and stuff in the pits, and we'll get it. Just can't make mistakes.
Well, obviously the restart was the most important part of it. When you're battling for fuel mileage like we were, kind of puts you between a rock and a hard place because you really can't scrub your tires up, clean them up good, because you're saving fuel. At least I'm not strong enough to turn the wheel back and forth without power steering like that over and over and over again. So, it kind of puts you in a tight spot there. So when they said 1 to go, I started scrubbing them up as best I could, and then I knew it was important to get a good restart, and we were able to do that with our ISM Connect Chevy. Just timed them a little bit different each time. This was the last one there. I took it a little deeper into the box and then got a good launch. Justin Haley gave me a great little shove there to get me out and get me clear, but I actually ran out of fuel getting into turn 3 on the last lap. The motor completely shut off, and I said, "Oh, here we go," and got into the banking, and it recranked and carried speed all the way through 4. And then as I was coming off of 4, it started stumbling and stuttering, and I was like, "Okay, 52, I'm going to block you all the way to the finish line. I'm going to make you push me across." So just obviously game of inches there at the end, and just can't thank everybody at GMS Fabrication. Joe and all these guys. Pit crew was awesome tonight. We just we executed with strategy and led a lot of laps and 4 wins in 8 races. So the biggest thing we got to do now is just not get complacent and keep our nose to the grindstone. And got a long way to go, so we got to stay hungry.
And now let's check the playoff grid following the PPG 400. Not a lot of changes here, really. The only change is Matt Crafton has moved up into the top 5 over Ben Rhodes. Otherwise, nobody really moving. The only thing I'm really noticing here is the cutoff line to get into the playoffs is really solidifying itself. I mean, we have a 34-point difference right now between Justin Haley and Dalton Sargent. So these guys down outside the top 8, Dalton Sargent, Myatt Snyder, Cody Coughlin, who's not on the graphic, but he is in 11th. Really probably need to pick up the pace, especially given that Todd Gilliland is not up there. He is currently 15th, around, what are we looking at here? About 70 points below the cutoff line right now. But Todd Gilliland is playoff eligible. He did miss a few races at the start of the season, but that was because he was too young to run those races. Now that he is 18, he is running the full schedule for the rest of the season and is playoff eligible because those races he missed were because of age and not for some other reason. So, if Todd Gilliland wins a race, which is very possible, that's going to really screw with this cutoff line. And all of a sudden, you don't have a 34-point gap right here because that'll push Justin Haley out, and there's only 10 points between him and Stewart Friesen. There's another 8 to Ben Rhodes, another 8 to Matt Crafton. So if you throw Todd Gilliland into this mix, that really messes with this cutoff line because all of a sudden that's going to really shrink things up down there at the bottom. So I'm interested to see how this works going forward because I think Todd Gilliland can win a race before we get to the playoffs. And even if he doesn't, I think he can point his way in. Being that he is, what are we looking at here? 72 points. No, scratch that. He is, I'm looking at the wrong person. I'm comparing him to Dalton Sargent, not Justin Haley. He is 106 points below the cutoff. 106 points below Justin Haley. So, he's got a little ways to go. But I think with where he can run each week comparatively to where Justin Haley, to where Dalton Sargent, to where Myatt Snyder, to where these guys have been running, I think he can get his way in. I think he can at least get up to 9th. Now, if Justin Haley continues to do what he did last night in Texas, finish top 3, top 5, it's going to be hard for Todd Gilliland to catch him without a win. But again, Todd Gilliland can win races, so this could be interesting going forward looking at this playoff grid for the Truck Series. We will definitely keep an eye on this. So I think that will do it for us tonight here on the Camping World Truck Series Rewind Show. If you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing from racing news now. And hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do. So with that, this has been the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rewind Show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.